Approaches to staffing. Before we go into staffing, individuals can start their job, they can start their jobs individually, but as soon as the business starts expanding, it is important to add more workers to reduce the workload. So that is when our staffing comes in. So when we talk about staffs, we're talking about the employees of the organization. So approaches to staffing. In some businesses, the owner is the only person working in the organization. However, a business grows, there is usually, as a business grows, there's usually a need to employ more people to share the workload, like I said earlier. So the workload has to be shared. Then as soon as you have to share the workload, then it means you have to start dealing with people within the organization. So it depends on how big or small the business is. That's about the size. So for small businesses, they are between 1 to 49. For medium-sized, they are from 50 to 249. Then for large businesses, 250 to infinity. I think the point there is clear. So different businesses have different approaches to their staff. Some view staff as assets, while others view them as cost. These approaches might have implications for levels of productivity. So for businesses, there are two ways in which they view their staff. Some view their staff as assets and they treat them as one. Others view their staff as liabilities or cost and they treat them as such. Okay. So we're going to start, so either ways, whatever way you treat your staff, it's going to have implication on the efforts they put at workplace, which is their productivity. Do you get the point there? Okay. So let's go to staff as an asset. Employers who view their staff as assets will value their employees and have concern for their welfare. Staff will be valued because employers recognize that their efforts will help the business to perform more effectively. Such employers will therefore try to meet the needs of employees. So, like I said earlier, as soon as whatever approach you use for your staff, it will impact in the efforts they put at workplace. So that means when we talk about their effort, we're basically talking about the productivity. So if you treat your staff, if you see your staff as assets, it means you value them, and as a result of that, they have to replicate by putting more effort at workplace, which will increase productivity. So what are those things employers would do if they view their staff as assets? Number one, acceptable remuneration. When we talk about acceptable remuneration, we're talking about the pay. So what they pay them more. If they pay them what they deserve anyway, they pay them what they deserve if they see them as assets. And they always listen to them whenever they need a raise. Do you get the point? Are you with me? Am I too fast?
Valuable valuable employers.
Yes, they pay them according to their effort. 2, reasonable holidays, sick leave, maternity or paternity leave, and pensions. So because they view them as assets, they will give them that time to relax, time to recuperate, time to to cover for the strain of workplace. Do you understand the second point there?
It's also because staff and assets, like employees that are staff as an asset, they also make the business profit a lot of money.
Yeah, they make the business grow. Yeah? So that's how they see them. The third one, a safe and comfortable working environment. Because they are seen as assets, the workplace will be conducive for them. That means safety and health situations will be good with them. The fourth one, training, so that staff can develop skills and carry out work tasks successfully and safely. Because they see them as assets, they will invest on training. They will invest in training them. Because with training, it improves their skills, their knowledge, and they could become multi-skilled, which would also reflect in the productivity of the work. Job security and opportunity to interact with colleagues. Because they are seen as assets, they will have the opportunity to understand that they are always going to be part of the company going forward. So they will see themselves in the future of the company. Do you understand that, please? Recognition and professional relationships. So whatever effort they put into it, they will be rewarded, they will be applauded. That is recognition. Do you understand? And their point of views will be heard. They will be listened to. Clear and effective leadership. Then you have to be a leader. Then you would lead them. You won't see them as your subordinates. You will see them as someone that can also add value to your organization. So you use leadership skills, not management skills with them. Chances for promotion. You let them understand that as soon as they deserve it, they will be elevated to the nearest position.
Can they also help other employees be like them, like guide other employees?
Leaders? Yeah, leader. A leader is a person who tells us what to do, guides us on how to do it to achieve a set of goals. So what we're saying here is that if employers see their staff as assets, they would lead them, not manage them.
Lead.
Do you understand? Okay. Opportunities to solve problems, work in teams, and be creative. So they will allow them to self-actualize. So they will be able to realize, they will become a better version of themselves. Do you understand? The company will give them the platform to explore, to make mistakes, and to grow. Any question about that? So if employers treat staff as assets, they will also make an effort to retain them. That means they will keep them.
Yes.
Staff retain it. So they know employees want to be challenged, acknowledged, and rewarded. These employers know that while money may not be there, may not be the motivator for all employees, it is still important that they may well provide above average wages. This approach is likely to help recruit, retain, and motivate high quality staff. So if you treat your staff as assets, it will simply means they will be staying and they would refer other potential employees to your organization. Any question about staff as assets? So go to staff as cost. If employers view their staff as a cost, their focus is likely to be different. Like any other cost, they will try to minimize it wherever possible. So if you are treating your staff as cost, then you have to minimize. Cost has to be minimized, yes or no?
Yes.
So you will find a way, the firm or the business will find a way to minimize cost as much as possible. So what are those things businesses might do if they see their staff as cost? So look at the way it is now. Seeing your staff as cost. So for you that you're reading this, you already know that, if any of this happens to you as an individual, it means your organization or your employer are seeing you as cost.
Yeah.
So one, paying just the legal national minimum wage. You won't pay them above the minimum wage. Two, using a 0 hours contract. That means you won't give them you won't promise them any hours aside when they are needed. So it means you only call them when the needs arises.
Okay.
Then when the need arises. Neglecting investment in training, you would not want to train them because you feel like if you are training them, they might become attractive to your support, to your employer, to your competitors. So you wouldn't want to train them. Using financial incentive to raise productivity. Instead of training them to increase productivity, you would rather tell them that, you give them either maybe piece rate or time rates to increase productivity.
Okay.
Having penalties for employees who are late, break rules, etc. So whatever mistakes they do, you count on them. Okay. You always want to find a way of reducing what they get as pay. Using cheap and inferior recruitment methods, you would not, even those that you are employing, you won't employ quality workers because you don't see quality in them. Do you get it? Yeah. So this approach might lower employment costs. Yes, it's going to reduce the cost on employment. But it may also be a false economy. This is because productivity might be lower due to poor motivation. Staff turnover and rates of absences may also be higher. So the point about seeing staff as cost is that it reduces the workload. It reduces productivity anyway. Workers will feel like they can always be absent. They know already what is going to happen if they are absent. So they wouldn't care. So, and also,
they're not motivated.
They are not motivated. And also there might be disagreement within the organization. There won't be teamwork. So all these will reflect in the productivity of the organization. And the company might be losing out. Yes. Any question about that? So that's about staff as a cost, staff as assets.
Then you have something called flexible workforce.
So we're going to flexible workforce. Shall we move on, please?
Yes.
Yes? Hold on, please.